Everybody's saying to journal. Everybody's journaling. Everybody's writing in their journals. Okay, journal. I tried journaling once my hands started hurting. I was like, this really isn't for me. I'm trying to express my feelings, and then I have a cramp now, so I thought, what's a good alternative? Video diary, video journaling. Boom. So, I don't know, it's hard to put I have so many thoughts. I talk so much. That's really hard to put it all down on paper, and then I'm leaving things out. And it's like, what if I did want to write that part down? What if because I didn't write that part down, I'm not relinquishing myself of the emotions tied to that thought? What if now that thought is going to be just a thought that replays because I didn't write it down? Now it's still within me. That energy, it's still within me. It's not on the paper anymore. And these are the kind of things we have to be thinking about as a society, actually. Maybe I should post it on the internet. That was just a little fun add-on to my idea. Yeah. So, what have I been thinking about? I recently moved into this new place. It's a studio apartment, not very big, but I love it. But I love it so much that it might be detrimental to my health. Why is that? Floor to ceiling windows, all the natural sunlight that I need, I definitely need more. All the natural sunlight that makes me feel happy enough, and a big ass window that I can open. And I have a perfect view of the full moon. It's like, this is perfect for any kind of spiritual psychosis I might feel coming on. That'll really help to make it worse. I went off on a little tangent there. I'm trying to say, because this apartment is so perfect for me and I love it so much, it's even harder to get myself to go outside. See, with my last place, it was a university dorm. The worst one on campus, actually. So, if I wasn't able to get myself to go outside, it was only ever due to depression. It was like, not only can I not get myself to go outside, I can't get out of bed, actually. But here, it's easy as hell to get out of bed because I want to look out the window. I thought getting myself to go outside was only really a depression thing, and now I'm starting to think it's a motivation thing. And I knew I had issues with motivation, but now it's like, wow, girl, like, really, like, just do what you want to do. I think my problem is I think about what I want to do and how I'm going to execute it so much to the point of doing nothing. And then not only did I not do the thing I maybe wanted to do, but I'm left with anxiety. It was just a day of anxiety because I was contemplating how I would execute this and when I would execute this, and then choosing that I would execute this then, and then not executing it then, and then like the same cycle every 30 minutes, actually. And it really comes with giving myself a daily routine. And right now, the only thing that's mandatory in my routine is work. Right. So there are a few things we could add on there, actually. Self-care. That's one. Going outside. That's one. Eating. Drinking enough water. There's really actually a lot of things, keeping my place neat so that I don't feel that I don't have to then pick everything up in an anxious rage because I literally can't handle how dirty my place is. And I think the problem is that's actually a lot. I listed a lot of things that I lost count. It's just the pressure. I put too much pressure on myself to complete such simple tasks that the anxiety that I start feeling prevents me from completing those tasks. Or something like that. I'm really like freeballing it here, so if you could maybe tell me what these thoughts actually mean, that would help. Or whatever. Also, how are we feeling about this look? I don't think I've ever done a look like this. Actually, I just need to wash my hair. That's all. My hair was in twists for the prior 3 weeks. And I finally got myself to take them out. I was gonna take them out a week ago actually, but I've taken them out now. And I threw a beanie on because, like I said, I need to wash my hair. So yeah, it's like, it's not a twist out. It's not like a twist out that I could make into a style. I've also been thinking about how where I am heavily affects my mental health. The space in which I am living, not just like my apartment or my dorm room. Yes, that. I think that might be one of the biggest factors. I can only ever see a dorm as a temporary space. Because it is. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I think it's and it's like I could never disconnect or like forget about that part of it. The fact that this is definitely a temporary space. Like, it felt like I was living on a stage. Like, that's genuine, that's dead ass. That's what I thought about every single time I would walk in and look at my side of the room. I'd be like, I feel like I'm just decorating a stage. And then in a few weeks, a few months, a few weeks, a few days, depending on at what part of the semester I'm having this thought, I'm just tearing it all down. And it's like, yeah, it's the same thing for here. I know that I'm gonna be moving out as soon as my lease is up. Like, I will not be renewing my lease. But it's the fact that this is mine. First of all, it's the fact that all of this is mine. I'm not sharing it with anyone. 2, it's the fact that I could renew the lease if I wanted to. And I think that's it. But I had a conversation similar with my dad. I was arguing with him because he was like, you have to go to church with your grandma. Please go to church with your grandma. And I was like, oh, Dad, please, like, I just don't want to go this week. Like, I just really need some alone time. Like, you don't understand how important my alone time is. I don't want to go to church with grandma. Like, the church service is boring and they sing the same, they sing one song for 13,000 million hours and then they just never stop talking. They never stop singing. It's like, please don't make me go. And I was trying to explain to him how important my alone time is. And he was like, well, you're alone in your room. Like, what? Like, you get to be alone in your room every night. Almost every day. You never come outside of your room unless it's for school. You're always in there. You're always alone. And I'm like, no, it's not the same, Dad. Dad, it's not the same. I need everyone in the house gone. And on Saturdays, that's the only day when everyone's gone. So, like, don't make me go to church with Grandma. And he was like, no, Caitlin, you need to be able to find peace no matter the environment you're in. And that's crazy because I think my dad told that to me when I was like 16 or 17. Wow, time flies. I'm 19 now, and this whole conversation applies to me. Because back then I was like, that kind of sounds like it has truth to it, but I'm gonna really fight this so I don't have to go to church. I still have to go to church. I still had to go. But I never sat down and really thought about what he was saying. You should be able to find peace in whatever environment you're in. Does the environment you're in maybe make it harder? Yes. But there should be a certain peace that is a constant in your life. because it comes from within. And environmental factors shouldn't affect that. My problem is it's taking me a really long time to find that peace. And I had another conversation with my dad about kind of about how I've been trying to find this peace with myself, and it's taking so long, and I'm going through so many stages of, like, not stages of enlightenment, but like trials. So many trials within the search for enlightenment, and it gets really tiring. It gets really, really, really tiring, because when you're in the middle of one of these trials, mind you, I put myself through this, just like naturally putting myself through hell every few months, and it's like all up here. Every few months I'm like, I have a new existential question that I'm gonna think about for every second of every day until I find peace with the answer I've come to. Because a lot of times, I haven't had much of these trials, maybe 3 or 4, since I've been aware or trying to reach a state of enlightenment. And, enlightenment is like that thing. It's like that thing way over there, but like, you still want to reach it. It's like, will I ever reach enlightenment, really? Probably not. Am I okay with that fact? That may be fact? Yeah. I'm cool with that. Because, and I say this with my whole soul, my whole body, all the universe within me, I would rather forever be on the search for total enlightenment instead of never had a taste of it at all. Because my worst fear in life is being stuck in a cycle. And because of that, I think, because of that really bad fear, and I'm really aware of that fear, and I'm really aware of myself. I'm like hyper aware of myself, and I think that's where a lot of my suffering comes from. The fact that I'm just too aware of myself. I try to make sense of everything. So if I'm like extra aware of myself and I'm trying to make sense of everything involving myself, it's like, whoa, slow down. That's actually not possible. And you might be like, Caitlin, no, like, what do you mean that's not possible? Like, you should know yourself totally. Okay, I'm talking about like on a cosmic, universal, but when I say universe, I'm talking about like an energy, but maybe it's not an energy, just a force that penetrates everything of existence and everything that is not in existence even. That's the part that I'm not too sure about, and because I wasn't too sure about it, but I was like, no, like, I'm like dead set on like being sure about this because it's a part of me. Personally, it's my favorite part of me, but you're saying it's my favorite part of me, like my personality. I think that's all universal. Aside from the physical, and that's what I'm saying. Because there's a physical and then there's a universal part of you, and they interact. And they're seen as one, but they're not one. They are different. They have different origins. But do they? Or do they just take on different forms? These are the kind of things I think about. And a really big issue I ran into when I was in this whole like, who am I? And the whole reason I was having this terrible time trying to figure out who I was is because I didn't feel at peace with myself. There was like all this inner turmoil going on, and I couldn't understand where it was coming from. So I was like, well, like, the only way to figure this out is to know who I am. So who am I? But I took it to a super duper far level, and instead of just trying to figure out who I am, it was like, I need to figure out who the universe is, what the universe is. But TBH, I think that's a question humans shouldn't be searching for. I think that's a question that is meant to be unknown. Is this something I tell myself because I just need to find peace with the fact that I'll never find this answer? Maybe. Probably. Yes. Okay. Whatever. But no, like, actually, I don't think we need to know all that. Like, just stop being greedy. Like, let's focus on, like, all this physical. Like, at least we're allotted the materials and the intelligence to answer all of these physical problems and questions and whatever. So stick to that. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is what I'm saying when I say these two things are separate, because I believe that nothing of the physical can, like, I don't think it can perfectly translate over to explain the universal. It's inside you. It's showing itself through your expression. How about that? How about them apples? You want to know what the universe looks like? Go to a social event. Interact with people. Boom. You want to see the universe? Look into someone's eyes. You want to see the universe? Ask someone their deepest fear. Yeah. This is what I mean when I say universal. And I know, like, I'm not giving a good explanation on this, but I think everyone has their own conceptualization of the universe. And no, none of them are wrong. None of them are wrong. I have my own, and if I were to paint it or make it a visual thing, it would kind of look like neurons in a brain. It would kind of, well, not like in, like, no brain matter. No brain matter involved. Wait, it would just look like neurons firing. Like, this one lights up and goes dark, but then it sends light. The light pulses out to others, and once it reaches another, and then this one pulses and it pulses, and when it reaches to this one, pulses, and it's like a never-ending pulse and send and receive and 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 pulse. And this vision came to me when I was at my absolute lowest and had no idea what I was, who I was, why I was here, why I felt the way I did, why I felt so much stress in my heart, why these answers weren't given to me about being and existing. But this vision came to me when I was having that really, really, really hard time, and it brought me so much comfort. It was like, nothing's ever that complicated. Yes, things are complicated, but are they really? Are they really? Every single thing is just cause and effect. Everything is cause and effect, and everything is the result of something that came before it. So that makes it a little easier. The universe is never ending. energy doesn't die. Energy transforms. It really is beautiful to think about. And I love the universe. I think the biggest issue, though, is, controversial topic, because I don't agree with the idea of, I don't know. I haven't reached a conclusion on this thought, but first thinking of this, I thought I don't agree with the idea of separating my universe and my physical being. That's not the natural order of things, no? That's not the natural order. That's not how things are meant to be. They're not supposed to be separated. I believe it's only after death that it is naturally separated. And I think trying to separate that before life is over is like a disservice to life itself. Because the whole purpose of, this is my personal opinion on life, the whole purpose of life is to experience. That's what the universe wants. The universe wants to experience itself in all its glory, in all its heavenly glory. So why are you trying to rob yourself and the universe of that? I'm not really saying that there is a purpose to life, because, and this is how I got into that really bad place, because I ended up in a mental spot where I was like, there's no purpose, there's no point to anything, everything is just by chance. Like, this is so pointless. But giving yourself a purpose, I never thought it would be so easy. Because I mean, like, and maybe it's just that I had to find something that really resonated with me. Because, I mean, I tried getting into religion, and I couldn't. Creating my own spiritualism or whatever. Well, I guess spiritualism, just saying spiritualism, or like being spiritual, I guess that is personal, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure that's like a personal thing. If someone says like, oh, I'm a spiritual person. Oh, so like you're on your own personal path to, you have your own understanding of what it means to exist. And yeah, coming to that conclusion on your own, I think fulfills you so much more. I mean, this is personal. I'm not knocking religion, okay? I think if it works for you, it works for you. But like, personally, it comes from a place of very deep reflection. And that reflection isn't always easy. I think majority of the time, having such deep reflection is extremely hard on my soul, because I do reach roadblocks, dead ends, roundabouts, where I'm like, what the hell? Where is this leading me? And you know, when I don't find an answer that brings me peace, it's like, my soul is angry, and it's like, but I know that whenever I reach a roadblock, a stop sign, a stoplight, a crooked sidewalk, maybe a sidewalk that just ends because we don't prioritize pedestrians here in Florida. Sorry. When I see myself getting to a point like that, I know through trial and error that it's because I'm trying too hard. So I reach this point where I'm just pressing up against a brick wall that won't budge, because that's just something I'm not supposed to know in the way I'm searching for. I'm trying to know something in a way that I'm not supposed to know it, that I'm not supposed to understand it, maybe in a way that I just can't understand it because I'm in this form. And once I accept that, I take a step back, and then I'll realize that, especially as of recently, the answer doesn't come to me in I have an epiphany and I'm like, oh my god, like, this is the answer. When I first started on that journey, it was like that. The first time, and only the first time, was it like that. And that's when I gave myself a purpose. When I saw a purpose in the universe and in the physical world. I saw a purpose in how they collaborate and how they exist. That's the only time I reached a level of enlightenment, and then the answer I had come to was clear and something that I could very easily communicate to someone else. After that, every time I had reached a new level of enlightenment, it was simply just a feeling of peace. Like, oh wait, I can just feel it within myself that something within me, I couldn't tell you what it is, but something was like this whole time, and then suddenly it's this. Or maybe I should have went like this and then like this. You know? And that's all. As of recently, that's all. And how do I know that I've reached a new level of enlightenment? Because of that feeling I get? Because I just know. That's all. Like, this really isn't something I could fully communicate to you in words, because the way it comes to me is so vague, but I think that's the point, you know? Because up until recently, I had been searching so hard for something concrete, and now I'm at a point where this new feeling comes to me. It's like, you know, I am thinking about something, but what I'm thinking about is more vague. Like, when I'm thinking about who I am, and I changed it, and a lot of times I just thinking about who I am in certain aspects of life, and I never truly reach an answer, but eventually I'll get a feeling of peace and calmness throughout my body, and it's like the things that might have irked me or very easily swayed me into bad mindset, a bad energy, suddenly those things don't have the same effect on me. And it's like I still have to be conscious about it, but it's so much easier because I have this new level of peace flowing throughout my existence. And it's so wild. It's the wildest thing ever. And I started out this by talking about how where I was living really affects my mindset. And right now, I moved down to Miami last summer. And really quickly, I realized that I hated it down here. And I still do. I do not like living in this city. But now that I'm living in a space that I can completely make mine, and like even just the setup of the apartment, like the bare apartment, I love. It's so much easier for me to be at peace. Even though I'm in this city that I really don't feel connected to. A lot of times I'll be out in the city and I feel that spiritual friction. It's like this isn't where I'm meant to be. I can just feel it. And it really bothers me. It really bothers me. And I have been thinking a lot, like, about what my dad said, and it's like, maybe I can find that peace here. And it's like, I know I could, but I really don't want to. And one of those reasons is because the public transportation is fucking ass. It's so ass. So if I'm only focusing on the physical, when I say this, I will be moving, and it's just because I need my life to be a little bit easier in terms of transportation, because I do have a full-time job, and like having to make a 3-hour commute, it's gonna change to like a 1.5-hour commute when on days that I work with this one coworker, because like, bless him, I hope he starts his journey to enlightenment. I hope he's on his journey to enlightenment already, because he is giving me the break of a lifetime. He's cutting my commute time in half. Thank you. All right, I'm just talking about blah 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 now. So yeah, what am I leaving you with? Start that spiritual journey, bro. Start it right now. I'm saying this as someone who is not religious, okay? But everyone's spiritual slash, I feel like it doesn't matter whether it's solely spiritual or also includes religion, because I feel like no matter whether religion is playing a part into it, it still has to do with the spiritual, because religion is like a guide for the spirit. I'm low-key freeballing right now. Let me know if you like don't agree with this or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, whatever you're doing in life, stop. Stop. Get more spiritual right now. And remember, it will look nothing like, or maybe it will, but do not expect your spiritual journey to look like anyone else's. Because I'll tell you right now, you're probably not even going to understand half the shit that happens to you on that journey. I don't. And you have to make peace with that. Don't fight it. Number one advice for your spiritual journey, don't fight. Don't fight it. It's called going with the flow, bro. Peace out. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening if you listen. Oops.